It's funny, a little bit after I made that video about what DC video games, comics, I wanted to see turned into some sort of feature length, whether it be theatrical or one of those animated straight-to-DVD movies, and Injustice was one of the ones that I had mentioned, and here it is, a couple months later, and it's out to the public in animation form, and it was kind of one that I was anticipating how they were going to do it, because there was multiple Injustice games, and I didn't know if they were going to try to mix everything together, or if they were going to try to turn this into, you know, some sort of like sequel trilogy thing. I didn't really know, and watching it throughout its whole entire 78 minutes, Jesus Christ, did they try to just cram everything together in there, like, just too much in my opinion, and that brought the movie down a little bit. Sorry for the early spoiler, but that just made it all the more disappointing that they were just trying to just crunch these things in there, as obviously it starts off just the way the video game did. Lois tells Clark Kent, Superman, that she's pregnant with their child, and they're happy, blah blah blah, but Joker, you know, goes to Metropolis, he conducts this plan, and ends up ultimately getting Superman to kill the Joker by spraying him with some sort of fear toxin with a little bit of kryptonite induced into it, basically killing her, their unborn baby, and everybody in Metropolis, because he plants a bomb in Lois Lane, the Joker does, that goes off at a certain time, and just ruins all of Metropolis just like an atomic bomb. And of course, Superman goes crazy, he breaks into Arkham just so he can kill the Joker by obviously shoving his fist right through his chest and ripping his heart out, basically. And that's where the whole, I guess, conflict of the story starts, is now Superman is fed up. He starts to form this, you can call it dictatorship, where he basically says any criminal is going to face the consequences, I don't care who you are, but I'm not putting up with this shit anymore, which kind of leads to a split in the Justice League. This is kind of like DC's version of what Captain America Civil War was, where how, you know, Iron Man and Captain America, even though friends, they feud over how they should do things, and they end up getting in a fight and all this stuff, and they have like teams set. That's basically what this is. Wonder Woman ends up being on Superman's side, along with Cyborg and a couple of others, and Batman, well, obviously he has Nightwing that's still on his side, and Damian, which throughout this movie, I don't know if you guys know, but I hate Damian Wayne's guts, and you know what, we'll just skip it for now, we'll get there. Now, eventually, Harley does find out about the Joker's death as she is being taken to Arkham, I guess. It's kind of weird because her and the Joker were in the exact same place when they were both caught. So how did they get Joker to Arkham before her? I don't know. And obviously she escapes, and then there's this thing that starts between her and Green Arrow where it wasn't necessarily like a, you know, they were like falling for each other type thing. It seemed like they were trying to make this pairing of a popular character and a less popular character for whatever reason.
Get ready for a permanent low profile. Aww, I wanted the smashing mallet, not the squeaky one.
They had this running joke where there was this arrow that had like this gas in it that would basically knock you out, and one of them would end up saying like, oh, you fucking asshole, or oh, damn it, ah, shit, like they got me with this again, and they would kind of say it as they were like getting knocked out. Like they did it 3 separate times in the movie, and at that point you're just like, okay, that's getting old already. We're like 20 minutes in, and we've already gotten this 3 times.
Oh, what's this one do? You suck. Could you maybe chain me by the computer so I can update my resume? Asshole. That reveals character.
What? Oh, shit.
It's time to stop! Throughout the time this is happening, Superman goes on a killing spree, and like I said, basically starts the whole dictatorship thing. Superman's parents get kidnapped by Mirror Master, which we later find out was a ploy by the United States president to kind of catch Superman and basically try to get him to stop what he's doing. We won't hurt your father unless you give up this whole shtick, what you're doing here. Plus, he wants to find a way to basically, what's it called? Not martial law. When you betray your country and basically, you know, the military would have the right to then execute you, that type of thing. They're trying to pull that on Superman because basically he's going around defying the odds of the government and just doing his own thing, taking over for no reason whatsoever. Then there is the whole thing of, you know, Batman finding that out. He tells the president, look, you can't do this. He will find you, and he's capable of killing you. And then throughout this time, we see Damian Wayne, who, he's just a prick. That's how he's you know, training with Nightwing, and he's just a whiny little prick for most of the movie. That's just what it is. That's how it's always been. No surprise there. And then we have this whole thing where Batman tells Green Arrow, come to the lair, don't bring Harley with you, and she ends up somehow sneaking into Green Arrow's van, knocking him out, and thus Hero Harley is born.
I'm a hero now! Hero Harley!
I don't really understand that, but she decides that she's going to work with the good guys because she wants to get revenge on Superman. She wants to kill him. I don't necessarily know if she knew she wasn't going to be able to do that, even with help, but she obviously wanted to get some sort of revenge on Superman for killing her quote-unquote puddin', as she puts it, in the cartoons and in the comics all the time, and even in this movie. Then, of course, Damian Wayne just continues to be a prick. He basically tells on his father and his group of people that are helping out, who are going to Arkham, and basically setting them up to fight Superman and them. However, that doesn't happen, because just when Harley thinks she's helping, she lets all the villains out of the cell in Arkham Asylum. And that's when I thought, oh, well, maybe she was just kind of tricking them into thinking she was helping, but no, this just was one of her mess-ups where you're just like, how stupid is this blonde bimbo? Like, that's just one of those, like, oh, damn it, Harley moments, and that's all that really is. They had to add that in the movie, I guess, somehow, but Superman ends up getting them all back in the cell, at least the ones he didn't kill. And would you believe that Damian Wayne continues to be a prick?
Oh my god! Wow!
Mainly because this time he actually kills somebody when, you know, him and Nightwing are kind of fighting other people and they're jawing at each other because, you know, they don't like each other right now. He ends up throwing one of his samurai sticks, I don't know what you would call it, the thing that Donatello or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had, I think that's what it was, and it hits Nightwing right in the head, like square in the head, to where it basically makes him brain dead, and he dies.
Hell no.
Damian Wayne killed Nightwing. Great. Yeah, I was happy about that when that happened. I was like, he hit him in the head with it. Like, that's not even, how do you, who came up with this? Whose idea was this to give Nightwing such a stupid death? Like, it's not the fact that he died, it's unnecessary, sure, but the fact that this was the way he died, it wasn't even in a cool way, and it was by one of the weakest little shits ever in the comics, or at least ones that they've been trying to establish for years. So again, needless to say that I was upset about that, to which Batman basically just kind of says, I'm done with you. He doesn't, you know, want Damian as his son anymore because he's just, he's not controlling of himself, and he doesn't understand what it's like to do what Batman does still, so, which is still weird because he's 13, so Batman still knows he's got a long way to go, and now that he's 13, he's going to be a little bit more temperamental because he's getting into his teens, but again, I don't really know if Batman knows what having a childhood is like because, well, once his parents died, he never had one. And then later down the line, while all this is going on, Superman tries to, you know, recruit Selina Kyle just to talk to Batman to calm him down after Nightwing's death, because you know how Batman handles death, to which she goes, comforts him, because at this point they were in a relationship, but they're not anymore, so she knows his secret identity, she knows where the Batcave is, so she can just kind of enter any time. It's weird that you don't see Alfred throughout any of this, but okay. Fine. I hope you don't hear the rain coming down. It's raining really hard outside. I apologize if that's coming through on the camera. Anyway, just ignore that and get back to the, I almost said album review, to the movie review. Then we kind of, you know, go through this little oh, Nightwing going to heaven thing where he's not Nightwing anymore, he gets transformed into Deadman, and you know what that means?
Absolutely nothing.
He can just be a spirit. It's like gaining your whole Jedi, ghost phase thing, like when you become one with the Force, you get your own Force ghost after you pass on. That's basically what this is. And then for like the rest of the movie, other than the last 10 minutes, we don't see him at all. Like, you're just kind of questioning like if that scene was just put in there randomly, or if there was a reason that was put in there, but after that he's just like not present for a majority of the movie. So then Damian Wayne just can't stop being you get it at this point in time. Ra's al Ghul ends up helping Superman, and Damian's there with him because obviously that's Damian's grandfather. And Superman, just wants to work with Ra's al Ghul because he knows Batman the best, when he finds out that Batman basically knows everybody in the Justice League the best because he keeps this folder on like every single one of them about their weaknesses and how they can be killed. So there's that. And then there's just more Green Arrow and Harley scenes where they just continue acting, what is it the kids say nowadays, sus. And this is when Green Arrow just says, hey, look, let her help. She wants to help, and we need all the help we can get. So that kind of convinces Batman to be like, alright, whatever, it can't get any worse than this at this point. I mean, he did kill her lover, so she's got to have some pent-up rage in there somewhere, to which she agrees to help Batman and friends try to track down Superman. Superman finds out the president is trying to launch missiles to start a war with Superman, and of course, Superman don't like that. So the final battle begins. Actually, this is the final battle before the final battle. He confronts Superman and his buddies, and during this altercation, Green Arrow, trying to shoot Superman, ends up missing, or at least the arrow bounces off of Superman, and it goes right through Superman's father's chest, the guy that he has been trying to save. And of course, this pisses Superman off, and he just lasers right to the face, cooks Green Arrow's face.
Try and forgive them.
Oh my god!
By the way, weird deaths, because Flash died right at the beginning of the movie when I think it was the Joker and Scarecrow set up this trap to which the Joker killed Scarecrow, and then this trap that killed the Flash, cut him into pieces. That was weird that, right at the beginning they just, killed the Flash, one of the main people of the Justice League. But okay, Green Arrow dying, I don't really think anybody cares, because nobody really cares about him. Then Superman, at that point, brings up this press conference where he says, you know what, at this point, any act of violence or just criminal activity is going to lead to just some sort of justice, whether it be violent or non-violent. Something's gotta get done. And he ends up finding out, while he has the whole city of Gotham on surveillance, that there is this Joker worship get-together party. And what really makes me dislike this scene is he just kills every single one in there because he doesn't like the fact that they are worshiping the guy who killed his wife, or had tricked him into killing his wife and his unborn child and all of the city that he lived in. So yeah, he just goes on a straight murder spree. Wonder Woman finds out about that, and now she's kind of starting to act, a bit, again, sus of Superman, where she's just kind of like, look, you can't just do that. There's certain ways to go about this, but just killing them because they worshipped him and weren't doing anything else, I don't really think that's a reason to kill him, because Wonder Woman's been on Superman's side this whole time. She's how Tony Stark had, Spider-Man as his right-hand man and all that kind of stuff. Well, she's basically the Spider-Man to Superman's Iron Man, where, they're just together and whatnot, and she feels for him and has feelings in the case that she understands where he's coming from with this, but now she's kind of getting to the point where she's like, I don't know, like her goddess instincts are starting to kick in, this just doesn't seem right anymore, but she still kind of sticks with it throughout the whole way. And there's this new big robot, I think his name was Amazem. He ends up getting programmed by Ra's al Ghul to just kill anybody who just does anything, including a guy that litters by trying to throw his trash into the trash basket, and it misses, hitting the ground. And the guy, the robot, was like, oh, that's littering, that's a crime. And he blows the guy's car up.
Kobe.
And then Superman finds this out, and he's like, whoa, 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 this thing is malfunctioning. It's not working the way I want it. And then we realize Ra's al Ghul is now the real bad guy in this situation, as he betrays Superman, and then a whole chaos ensues. Everybody starts working together to try to fight this robot to get it to stop, and again there's just a lot of chaos that goes on, and then Damian ends up having to fight Ra's al Ghul because he doesn't like the fact that he's just killing, or trying to kill everybody at this point, when he's just like, whoa, whoa, that guy right there is my father and your son-in-law. You shouldn't be out here doing this, to where he actually grows some balls for once and says, I'm gonna sword fight my grandfather. And then here's where Deadman comes in, because now he is possessing Damian Wayne, and he's still trying to get him to listen. He's like, look, listen to me. I can help you in this fight. You just gotta listen. And Damian finally just listens, and in the end, they were able to beat Ra's al Ghul. And for a second there, Damian was a little cool. He's no longer a prick, but he's still a whiny little bitch, because then he goes, well, you were always better than me, I'm sorry.
B-I-C-T-H.
It's just like, dude, we get it, you killed him accidentally, you feel bad about it, but look, I mean, that was pretty cool. I'll give you that. That was nice. I was glad to see your character develop into someone with common sense that wasn't just being a prick all the time. You know what? I will give you a thumbs up there. That was one of the better parts of the movie overall. So, after this robot is defeated, Superman, they can't get through to him. So, guess who shows up to save the day? Superman!
How?
Well, apparently, this big box thing that Batman created is basically sending people from different realms to help out, kind of like what they do with the Flashpoint, where there's all these different universes. So in comes Earth 9 Superman to help save the day, which he doesn't. He gets his ass kicked. And just when Superman tries to fight Batman, Batman says, no, I know someone who can get through to you, and out comes a pregnant Lois Lane, who, guess what, worked. She got through to him, he stops, and obviously they didn't let him get away with all this. They're basically keeping him under captivity, and they said, we will let you out when we need you, but you cannot just be out freely anymore, and you are not the Superman we've come to know. We have trust issues with you now, so unless we need you, you're going to stay in captivity, to which obviously Superman accepts.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
And then Batman and Catwoman kiss, meaning that they're probably going to fuck again at some point. And then the movie ends. Yeah, it ends like that. Like, after that, nothing happened. We don't hear what happens with the other characters, how they continue to use Superman in this way. Like, for what missions are they using him in? Is this like a Suicide Squad thing now, where they're bringing him out on like the deadly missions that they can't handle themselves? I don't know. I don't understand. And although this did follow the video game to some sort, again, I think just trying to mismatch everything in there together, just squeeze it in instead of trying to cut it into separate films, just kind of ruined the vibe as to what they could have done with this movie. Were there good parts? Yeah. And I like the fact that we got to see the Superman killing Joker death scene in some sort of animation or whatever, which, by the way, too, the animation was really solid. That was one thing I liked. Batman was designed a bit better, and there were some characters where I didn't like the design, like you see Riddler in the Arkham fight. I don't know, the long hair I just never really was a fan of there, and you see Calendar Man, who just kind of looks like a fat slob. Like, it's just like, how is he fighting this well when that's really all he is? I don't know, but for the most part, I really liked the animation, and I liked the fact that they were finally going to take this popular game and comic series and turn it into something. But some characters were underutilized, some were way too overutilized, and there was just some scenes in this movie where I was like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why did you add this in here? It seems unnecessary, and yet it all just kind of gets lost in translation as to what the hell's going on, who's trying to stop who at this point, and what is a setup and what's not. It's just all over the place. It's a good movie, but I wouldn't necessarily say this is one of the best DC animated movies, because again, I will say when it comes to animated stuff like shows and movies, DC blows Marvel out of the water with that. But as many animated movies as DC had, they have some ones where you're just like, they could have done better. Like, this isn't as disappointing as the Killing Jokes movie adaptation, but it's definitely close to that. Just because I feel like with the Killing Joke, it tried to stay too close to the comics, but with this, it tried to do all these things at once, as I mentioned, and, you know, stick to what the comics and the video game had to offer, but adding these new little details in that just seemed unnecessary for no reason other than to add comedic effect or just something of the sort like that, and it was just a very up and down watch. But hey, that's just my take on this. You can tell me in the comments below, what did you think if you have seen the movie. Of course, if you haven't seen the movie, well then, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, me being a big fan of the video games and the comics of this series, I had to check it out. And again, I'm left wanting more, yet we got a lot in the short amount of time that we did. So I guess I can't really complain too much. But yeah, that's it for me. Stay safe out there, wear your mask, get vaccinated, and until then, I will catch you all in the next one.
It's nice to be drugged and wake up handcuffed in a lair. Puddin' and I used to do this every Thursday.
What? What the fuck?